Hi, my name is Lucas Jones. I work here at Enjukuracing. We do sales and customer service, helping you guys get the parts you need for your car. So today we're going to be talking about oil fittings, in particular the feed line, feed fittings, oil drain, and where they go on the turbo and the engine as well. As far as the drains go, you really want to pay attention to the outlet on your turbo. You want to make sure that your drain and the fitting is actually bigger, or at least the same size as the drain coming out of the turbo. If that is smaller than what's on the turbo, you're going to create an issue where you have pooling inside the turbo, and that's essentially going to affect the cooling of the turbo, and also whether or not your turbo is smoking, which a lot of people have problems with that. It can either be the size of the drain or the routing of the drain that comes into play when the oil is being pushed out of the turbo. With the draining of the oil in the turbo, essentially you want to come down from the turbo, and with the drain at 12 o'clock facing down, that's 6 o'clock. So the turbo facing 6 o'clock, you want the drain to come straight out, preferably. At the maximum, you can go in either direction with the clocking of the frame of the turbo at like 15 degrees maximum in either direction. You want this, the ideal route would be straight from the turbo down to the engine, and you don't want to have this line drop below the return to the engine, mainly because you're going to create an issue where there's a backfeed. There's no pressure coming out of the bottom of the turbo, so it's not going to push the oil through, so you'll get pooling, which is again going to create an issue with the seals on the turbo and create smoke. So that's essentially how you want to have that drain set up. And there are a few different drain types. You have like a regular hose end style, where you would just get a rubber hose, cut to length, hose clamp it on here, pretty much good to go there. And then you also have these AN style, where you have a fancier hose, which is similar to this hose that we had in the frame earlier. And essentially same routing, same deal. You can use like a 45 off of this if need be. A 90 is probably going to be too much. You don't want to go that route. And then you also have a female style, where there's no protruding threads here. It's actually going to be a female, where you would thread a male AN fitting into the turbo fitting. As you can see, we only have a few fittings here on the table. There are a lot of turbos on the market now, a lot of variants as far as fitting types. You have standard standalone fittings, you have flanges that have fittings on them. So if you have any other questions, you can feel free to hit us up. We can definitely look into the application that you have, see what's appropriate for your application. Also, when routing these items, you can definitely want to consider your routing. Make sure you're not touching the manifold. If you do have to go close to the manifold, which is very common, you'll want to use a heat wrap around the hoses and lines to protect those, keep them from melting, catching on fire, that kind of stuff. So feel free to hit us up in regards to any of that, any of the information there, any products that you might need, and let us know down in the comments if you have any other questions or something else you'd like to see in the video. We'd definitely like to hear from you guys.